Oh, we got an ambush.
What's that?
This nigga just hold on, man. We
What up,
got
Cash? How you doing?
What up?
we got to
I
sign
just
this.
joined a little bit late.
We got to
You
sign
looking good.
disclaimers around here and shit in the private chat.
You're looking good.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Hey, no, you know what? I wanted to jump in. I want to make it real
Hold
clear.
on. Welcome, Jay Flores, everybody. Salutes to y'all.
You know what?
Salute to
I
the
got
chat. Get them
caught a little
lights
bit off
up.
guard because I just happened to join.
Go ahead. Speak your piece, man. With this,
I just
so,
happened to
so,
join,
so
but you look.
Damien knows. So, for the interview's sake, in this private chat, there are only three people that are allowed to be in here. Two of them are in here right now. Well, besides me, two of them are in here right now. Jay's in here as well.
I feel bad for P then. I yeah, X him off for a little bit. You know what I was gonna tell you now? I think just to clarify, right? I'm gonna make it clear. I told this to everyone. I told this to Cash. There's not one person that didn't see Val and did say, "What the fuck? Holy shit, she looks fine." Make
Right,
it real clear, especially the way she dressed. If you didn't look at her, it's because you were blind or something. You know.
right.
If I'm not mistaken, Fat Joe says she looked like a UFO, and ain't no one ever seen a UFO, right? And you're gonna do a double take. You're gonna keep looking. So I want to make it clear, but I
And
think
Allen
Val.
Iverson, and Allen Iverson.
Yeah, I mean,
So
there's
the list
there's a
goes
lot of
on.
stories,
Yeah.
and I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
tell you, it's
Cash,
funny
Cash,
because
Cash, Cash. Did you ever see Kanye carrying anybody's bags, especially Kato's?
Nah,
All
man.
right, I just
Like,
wanted to make sure that was
that's another formulation of a lie
all right. There we go.
or
All right, y'all.
rumor, you know?
All right, back to you, Jay.
no, they're insinuating something else, but I sure know Kay put Kanye in a headlock. So, um,
Oh man,
oh
here we go.
well, no, I mean you're the one that knows because you would be there, but I guess that would be for another story.
Yeah.
Um, but now for the most part, I just want to make it clear, like, uh, anyone that does know me knows I'm a respectful person, no matter what. I'm a respectful man. I would never cross that line. And if I ever said something about Val, you know, I don't recall me myself ever like stepping out of line. But if someone asked me how she look, I would tell you, and I'll tell them in front of Kay and Cash. No, I'll tell her to put some clothes on. You know, like what the fuck is she wearing
Right, you'd
or
say it like
something like
anybody
that.
else would.
Yeah, like and if those for those people who actually have a good looking woman, then you understand what I'm saying. Um, but I always kept it respectful, and I know people always wondering if me and her had something going, and
I think that
then
was what was framed before I even got home, and that was part of the interview, right? Like how you're asking right now. I think the way that it was framed was like, this is the rumor, and I was like, well, I mean, everybody's commented about her, and I think edit wise or whatever, it could have been made to seem like I was saying like, yo, there's something going on, but like knowing these guys, I can't tell you that no, there's no way that that would be true. Plus, Kay probably would have fucking smashed your ass.
nah, but it wasn't even about what he would have done. I think it's just
Right. No,
about.
but I'm saying everybody knew how much he loved her, bro. Like that wouldn't even cross nobody's mind to do no
I
shit.
think for the most part, you know what? I've been on the other side of it, so I think that Val could be so cool, especially she's like a dude, but it's not what you like. Not like a dude, but I'm saying she's like one of the guys, right? That people could have took her like being cool in the wrong way. Because I heard all kinds of dumb shit, of dudes being, oh, she wants me or whatever, and I would laugh. I just think that was just her being cool. Um,
It's easy for a thirst bucket dude though to have a normal night because yeah, she has that kind of chemistry. She's able to talk. We get on the phone, we talk bullshit, ha ha ha. Some dudes is like she loves me, she's in love with me, dog. She laughed at my joke. Like what the fuck are
no,
we
but
talking
you
about?
know what's funny because especially when I was in prison, I used to be like, "Yo, man, did I miss that class? I must have cut out school when on confidence class because I missed that shit." Because I
Right.
never one thought and one time thought, "Oh, she likes me." I'll be real with you, like even when the part came when me and her actually started, like even where I probably felt it was something different, I still didn't believe it. Like it probably took her like to make it real clear sign for me to be like, oh shit, like this is not regular Val anymore. But for the most part, I'm speaking for like coming from my perspective, like there's no doubt about how Kay felt about her and how she felt about Kay. Like that's a given. Um, but always respectful, and I know people would love to hear that. It makes for a great story, right? That me and her had something going on. Um, that I don't even think about something like that. I do have my own stories about like the first time I met her, which we'll talk a little bit more about in the documentary. And yeah, I had one of those moments, like probably a little bit worse than Fat Joe because I was only 16 and she was what, she's 6 years older than me. She's you know I'm 16, she's 22 in the club, and I'm seeing a woman that I've never saw before. So I was like shocked. This was before or right in the beginning when she started being with Kay. So um yeah, I had my own story about how I met her and all that when I was way younger, but I always kept it respectful, and I think it makes for a good story. And with the funny thing, Cash, is I'm gonna share something between you and I. And 50 Cent actually
Hold
brought
on,
this
hold
to
on, hold
my
on,
attention.
hold on, hold on. Before he shares, get them likes up, y'all. Y'all playing games in the chat, bro. Jaden kicked in the door on me and Cash. He's in here. He gonna tell us a story right now. Y'all hit that like button. We earned it. Go on, Jay.
Yeah, I'm gonna share this story. This is an insight. I was with 50 one day, and he happened to see that video where Cash said that, and I'll never forget that he was like, "So you were about right? How long were you with her? When Kay was alive?" I said, "Bro, what are you talking about?" He said, your man, your boy. What's his name? Cash. He said it. I'm like, he said what? When? He said in the video. He pulled out receipts. And
Yeah.
he was like, look. And I said, oh, hold on, let me just double check. And I called Cash on the other line with 50. We FaceTimed him.
Yeah.
And we talked about this incident, and I said, you know, um, was this the case? And I could understand Cash if like however he said it could have kind of came off. 'Cause I don't remember how he said it, but it could have came off like he was insinuating something. But I, again, it's just gonna be for you know one of those things where people are gonna always have their opinion. And it's funny because
And
Cash,
mind you, when he said the comment that he said, I'm in the car. I don't know him. I don't know Kay. I don't know her. Like I don't have no reason. I said a comment based on like my opinion of like, whoa, of like early, like, I didn't make a comment on someone's character. I just said like, yo, she was bad. She came out, and the real reason why I brought it up because he's like, don't stare at her was the comment, like, because he'll fuck you up like that. Don't even pin your eyes
you
on
know
her.
what's funny,
You
because I
know?
think me and Cash both know, being around K, you know how many issues we had because somebody will straight disrespect and say something in front of him or look at her crazy. Because it was a given, but when dudes would think they were like that and would just do it, K would have had no problem whooping someone's ass, and I seen him do it a lot. But I think that's what I want. I didn't want for K to see Cash like staring at her or something, and that start off in the wrong foot because he was cool, but just not that cool, right? Uh, um, yeah, but I think even for that story, I think it all goes that um, from the beginning, me and her were very, very close, and that's my wife. That's like my best friend. And Cash was around when actually me and her started actually hanging around a lot. We took trips to everywhere: New York, California, Phoenix. Cash was around with us, and even at that point, it was nothing going on, nothing dirty at all.
We were just trying to figure the music shit out, bro. Try to pick up the pieces, and then, just, just like, I think we all kind of like lean towards each other because we were missing somebody that was pretty important to all of us. So I think we found a common ground in that, and we wanted to continue what it is that we were doing, which is music. And that's why, you know, Jay and Val continued their journey in music. I still continued mine. I ended up getting Emmys and Grammy nominations. They ended up getting deals, and we always kept marching in the direction that we were projecting towards when De Niro was around or Cato was around. Um, Respectfully, like, I mean, we had to pick up the pieces and do it all over again. We couldn't use any of that stuff. So, um, I just it's
And yeah, and on the other note, I want to say something about that. I just want to make it like clear. I hear all the stories about, oh, my wife was with this dude. My wife, like, listen, I'm sure your wife, unless she was a virgin, was with a lot of dudes too. Some that you know, some that you don't. She just for sure happened to choose certain type of persons, or individuals, right? That were in the life, or. And I think that it kind of goes back to how she, what type of person she was for some time. But overall,
Right,
she's a
right.
way
Because at
different
the end of the
woman.
day, Jay, everybody's had a woman that's been with somebody else. But at the end of the day, the reason that it sticks out in your story is basically because of the story and the timeline. So that's what I believe that the audience and the people online are always on top about. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of different than just regular. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I feel bad because at the same time, like, I remember talking to her about it, and it's like, she gets all this bad rep, and then part of my fault, part of K fault, but it's also what we do, right? It's not like she, we all have some type of like we're a part of it because it's not like it was easy for me to be with her. It's not like it just happened. I could understand why, we were always had the chemistry and why, we ended up falling in love with each other. But that was her circle, right? Drug traffickers, drug dealers. That was the world we were around. Gangsters, if she was around attorneys, she probably would have been with attorneys or, or whatever. Um, and I think that being understood that they don't understand her life. Like she's probably a way bigger hustler than most of the dudes that have something to say. I'm gonna tell you, she's probably a way bigger hustler than some of the dudes she was with, and that's being honest.
I bet that she's definitely more of a hustler than a lot of dudes that are in my comment section talking shit about.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she thought she was running shit until she actually started being with me, and then she still had trouble understanding that,
You made it. You made her see she was small potatoes, Jay.
yeah, she still couldn't understand. But I think that all that being said, of course she was Kay's wife. We talk about it all the time, and do I take on like bro code? Did I break the code? All right, I broke it. I admit it. There's no excuses. There's no excuses. I don't make excuses for anything. Like, yeah, I end up cooperating later. Even if they would not done that shit to me, I would have probably still said, yeah, I would still cooperate. Who knows? I'm not gonna make excuses. I'm not one of those dudes. I never been one of those dudes. I continue to stay the same, like throughout everything. Even when it comes to like, my wife, I love her. I feel bad. I feel she deserves more than the life I even gave her. And for those people who don't know her, they only can't are gonna make assumptions. And you hear a lot of people talking shit too. Oh, she looks this way, she looks that way. You still haven't seen a real picture of her because all that shit like you know makeup shit, so that she could have a regular life. But how the women look today, and Cash is here, is basically what she looked like 30 years ago. you
yeah.
know, 25 years ago. So people are playing catch up right now, especially women. But, and I get it, um, it's weird because I think as men, if you're a real man, like, you don't comment someone else's wife, if it's something wrong to say, I'm sure that, most of the people who have something to say,
You
they
married,
think that,
Cash?
well,
What's that?
You married?
No, I'm divorced, bro. I was married for 12 years, but when I went away to prison, I got divorced. But I'm probably a unicorn in this game because like when I was in the game, I was pretty focused on making money and nothing else. Like I didn't really partake in the fruits of that life, which is like women on the side or everything that everything that comes with that game. Like I didn't want anything to do with it. I was really focused on something that would supplement the money that I was making off of making music and mixtapes. So I was hyper focused and nobody could like get
No,
me
I
off of
get it.
that page.
hey, real quick, I want to make it clear. Did For Nathan, I want to say, let me see. Someone in your chat, I want to make it clear. She said, did she ever work for dated a guy that worked at McDonald's? Yeah, she did. Me, I worked at McDonald's. Um, for Nathan, right? Wallace, you gotta feel I'm lying. You know what it is? I think that she might have her way with me or whatever you think it is. That's my wife. She probably does, and I just have my way of just running other shit. Something you kind of would never understand. You know what I mean? Uh, That shit doesn't change. That shit
She
doesn't make me
got you to
feel any.
kick our door in right now.
No, I'm just saying, like, I see the comments because it's funny to me when people, like, I see some of the comments, like, oh, but you snitched. Yeah, I snitched. And I think it's real funny when we have these chats, and I always say, look, Cash is right here. I tell him Key was the one that brought the music, stuff around. At that time, I remember my brother telling Cash, like, we got way more money than those rappers. We don't want to be no fucking rappers. We don't want to be in the music business. And even P, even later on, would tell me, he like, bro, why are you even chasing that? That's Val's dream. Why are you chasing that? And I always used to say, look, this is not about me. This is something that Val really wanted to do. I think it was like her
Yeah.
way to stay with K a little bit more because that was his
Shout out to
dream.
my boy Jeffro. That's somebody that's like really tied in with Cypress Hill. If you go to Cypress Hill's channel, he's always on there. He's blowing up the chat. I just was looking
Salutes
at all the
Jeffro. Thank you
comments.
for being here, sir. Hit the
Yeah,
like button.
but Jeffro likes to be in women's business though, so big shouts out to him. Uh, so nah, but just again, like Cash brought it around me doing the music was always about me supporting her dreams and me making sure it got done. Um, Even P used to say all the time, like, bro, you chasing these dudes. These dudes are imitating our life, and he used to be so upset. And later on, when we got the deals and all that, you know it was weird because like that's what she wanted and she got it and she was like, oh fuck this shit, I don't want it no more. And later on we'll get to all those extra stories about the music and the people we worked with and the people we had signed and all that. um but for sure Cash was like instrumental to that, bringing the music around K and basically telling them
Cash,
the vision.
how
But
did you feel? How did you feel as far as, so we know that there was a time where you had to switch places with K and let K go handle the music business. How did you feel? How did you feel Val adjusted to that whole situation? Because just through her demeanor and the way she carries herself, you would think she's a smoozer. She could go in there and broker some shit. How'd you feel about her being in the music business?
I knew she could handle herself probably better than most of the guys around us. I know her. She's a good businesswoman. She had businesses and shit. So like, when we started Dinero, she was away. So she
Mm.
came back to a whole bunch of different. She came back, and so
Mhm.
it's
And even for sure, I think that's a good, like, she could handle herself around anyone for sure. She don't forget she was in the dope game before I was. Well, not technically, I wasn't, right. But we were basically doing the same shit. I was 8 and she was like 20. I'm kidding. No, she's not that older, but she handles herself in that world. She handles herself in the music. I'm gonna tell you, like, she never held back. Those music executives really respected her, because she's smart, intelligent. Sometimes people don't really get to see that part of her because she's tasked at doing something, right. She's promoting her book. She knows what she's doing, right. And people don't get that, don't understand that. Like right now, me and Cash right here, we're shooting the shits with you, right, Shy. We're laid back, but then I go to work for what I'm doing, and it's different, right. I'm at work. And I think that people don't understand that. They only seen her in that setting, and then she calls in, and it's just different. But, um, I think she's just a natural when it came to that. So, yeah, for sure. But I think just these are all these backstories, right?
yeah,
That
shout out to Jonathan Pantoja, man. I thank Ill for having me on the show, and I just giving y'all little piece of my life. Like I got stories upon stories outside of
and
these stories, but
yeah,
like
for sure. Cash, tell them the story about how I told you and how Pete told you, leave the game alone is not for you, bro. Say
yeah,
that story.
I was at Benny Hanna's having lunch with somebody
That's the
pretty
best
famous.
way. Hold on, that's the best way you can start a story right there, bro.
Yeah.
I was
I was
at
having
Benny
I was
Hanna's
having Benny
having
Hanna's
lunch.
with a very famous jeweler friend of ours, and he just
Yeah.
happened to be calling to check in on him. And he was like, "Hey, I'm having lunch with such and such." He's like, "Put him on the phone." And I'm like, I felt like like I hadn't talked to them since they went away, but let's just frame this the right way. And they had heard that, I was in cahoots with certain people that they knew and they were bad people, you know. And in reality, the guy that I told you was trying to tell these people that I owed all this money and did the same thing that that other middleman was doing to the twins on a much bigger scale, you know? So they knew this guy. So when they knew that I was in cahoots with this guy and doing stuff with this guy, they were like, get the fuck out the game, especially fucking with him. Don't get in the game, stay out the game. And obviously, you know, we're men, we make our own decisions. And, you know, I was already knee deep in the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it was like kind of at that point too late to turn back. But, you know, they did, you know, they both got on the phone and said, listen, I lived with this man. I know this man. You don't want to fuck with him. He's not good news. He's not that. Aside from that, you don't need to be in this game. Stay away from this game. Like they really did, like when you say that they're good people, like if you're a piece of shit, you're not calling, telling somebody to go the other way. You're calling and be like, man, fuck him. Hey, man, take these books. We'll give them to you for a better price. You know what I'm saying? So they really
Yeah,
were
yes.
out. They really were out, like,
Right.
for
They
my
didn't know.
best
I was
interest.
just gonna
You
say
know?
you didn't ask him for like, well, can I get 100 from you? Let me get 100 from you, and we
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I mean, and I respected them enough to not bring like whatever problems I probably had and they were in, and I knew that there was a reason for them not fucking with me, you know? So I knew to leave well enough unknown. So that wasn't even a topic or a conversation, you know? It
Yeah.
was just like,
I think for the most part, man, it's funny when people have no idea. When I see comments where people try to tell me about the game and tell me what I was built for and what I wasn't, and I laugh and be like, you know, it's like someone trying to tell Steph Curry how to shoot a three. I'll say it again. It's like someone trying to tell Steph Curry how to shoot a three. Like when you get to that level, then we could talk about it, right? It's different, you know. And for the most part, it was like I it looks easy. In the beginning, Cash and we had those conversations, and some of those things didn't always go well, and not because of Cash's fault, but he was able to witness of how we did things that things didn't work out, right, Cash? Certain
yeah,
situations,
yeah.
uh, certain situations that I would be in. Yeah, we have a story that we'll tell later on that we're gonna share. That's gonna be like it's made for TV, right? And Cash has something to do with it.
Make a
Um,
note of it, cause I'm gonna make a note of it. I
no,
come with receipts.
this is so crazy. I remember looking at Cash and be like, bro, that's like, like 1.8 mil just sitting in the hospital because of this shit. Do you remember that story?
Oh yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah. So
you know what stems from that story is Fat Joe being in the same G wagon from the same guy that shot him, and then I had to put that fire out and
yeah,
tell him not to do nothing to him while they're at the club.
Yo, you
So,
hear them halfway telling stories around here,
yeah, man. Well,
y'all?
we can't, because these are stories that probably gonna, come in and be better told
oh yeah,
in a different format